Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 4 of NWA Chicago, another great episode of NWA Main Event Showcase planned for you guys. Hopefully, this will be better than last week's. I've actually looked at the ratings of all the show, and the ratings have progressively gone down. The viewership has fluctuated, and the attendance has also progressively gone down. So hopefully this can be a bounce-back week for Main Event Showcase. I think all of our talent is actually here tonight. I don't know. All the talent that I needed to be here for this show was here, so it's going to go off without a hitch exactly as I'd planned it. So now let's get into the show. In a terrible pre-show match, David Starr defeated Ricky Reyes in 8:42 by submission. 33E plus for the match. Ricky Reyes gets a 35, David Starr gets a 28. So I just wanted to see how David Starr would do on his own as well as Ricky Reyes, to see if they could potentially have singles pushes in the future, maybe, but right now I think they're going to stay as tag team partners. I think actually I messed up, and David Starr faced JT Dunn last week, I think was the match, and they're actually tag team partners, so I really messed that up, so I'll figure out a way to justify that in a couple episodes, we'll see. Now let's start the main card. In about that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Alpha Female defeats Alexia Nicole in 3:59 by submission. Alpha Female gets a 25, Alexia Nicole gets an 18. Alexia Nicole was very off her game. I wish I could check the dirt sheet and see if the squash match was properly executed, but it gets a 21E-. I'm a little unhappy with that. I'm trying to build up Jazzy Gabber as like a larger-than-life, undefeated streak type character, but she's just not as good in the ring as I'd hoped she was, so we'll see what I wind up doing with her. Not gonna lie, this was not a very encouraging match for me in terms of this, so we'll see what happens. The Alpha Female stands in the ring, and Matt Striker slides in to interview her, and he says, "Alpha Female, you've made quite an impact here in NWA Chicago through your first 2 matches. Do you have anything to say to the fans, or any girls in the back?" Now, Female says, "I stand here the most dominant woman in this company. I will crush any woman you put in this ring with me. But the NWA World Women's Championship is being contested by Jazz and Tenille Dashwood, and that little Kaylee Ray holds the championship. I will break you all in half, because you all stand between me and my championship." 24E, not what I was hoping again. Both Striker and Alpha Female struggled going off script, because Matt Striker doesn't like working with a script. He actually gets angry about it, so they both had to go unscripted, and it didn't turn out too well. I'm a little bit unhappy with that. In about that had subpar wrestling in Little Heat. Kushida defeated Magnus in 10:22 by submission with a hoverboard lock, 37D-. I'm decently happy with that. 39 for Kushida and a 30 for Magnus. Magnus is a nice little performer there. I actually signed Magnus a few weeks ago. I was planning on having Magnus and Arhennis be a tag team because they're actually real-life brothers. However, Friday night is apparently when they film AAA, and so Arhennis is in AAA every single Friday and does not come to our tapings. So I basically have a guy on my roster who I cannot fire because it will anger Magnus, but also I cannot use because he's gone every time we have a show. So I'm in a bit of a pickle there. I might switch the night of the show, maybe, we'll see. Matt Striker is shown on commentary, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's just been announced. Next week, in addition to our Women's Championship match and Nick Aldis' Championship Showdown with Ethan Page, the Assyrian Portal will be taking on Scott Steiner and P.D. Williams for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Exciting stuff, folks. Make sure you stay tuned. Now, let's get back to the action." 42D, Matt Striker was superb working without a script. Had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to use Striker a little bit more, because Billy Corgan's not over. Billy Corgan doesn't have good microphone skills or anything. Striker is somewhat over. Striker's got good microphone skills. He's the announcer, and I really don't like the whole complex wrestling companies have of the authority figure on every single show, sometimes multiple segments a show, so I'm going to kind of go through the commentary booth on that, where every so often we're going to show the commentary booth, or Matt Striker's going to go in and interview someone. I think that's a better way to do things than constantly having the authority figure on camera. I feel like the authority figure should only show up for special things, special announcements, really make it feel impactful when the authority figure shows up. Kind of like Vince McMahon is now. When Vince McMahon shows up, everyone goes nuts. when Paige shows up on SmackDown or Kurt Angle shows up for the 8th time on Raw, people don't really care anymore because it's so overused. So I want to make the authority figure Billy Corgan special. However, he's not over, so it's not going to make it special. I just realized that. We'll see what happens. In about that, in subpar wrestling in Little Heat, Sammy Guevara and Matt Cross defeated the Sons of Michigan in 11:59 when Benjamin Boone intentionally got disqualified while fighting Sammy Guevara. So I'm going to take that as he gave him a swift kick to the nads. Got a 42D. Matt Cross got a 46, 43 for Guevara, 31 for Matson, and 33 for Boone. This match got the crowd hotter. Matt Cross was off his game and performed at a 46. So this rivalry keeps building as the Sons of Michigan get themselves disqualified. You'll remember a few weeks back, they attacked Guevara and Cross after a very good match that they had together. Now, after the match, the Sons of Michigan continue their assault on Guevara and Cross. They grab chairs and begin beating down Cross and Guevara further. Security floods the ring and finally get the Sons out and begin walking them to the back. Cross and Guevara remain in the ring while medical staff attend to them. We pan back to Stryker on commentary. Well, actually, we don't even pan to him. He's on commentary while we're watching this happen, and he says, "Wow, an absolutely disgusting display here from the Sons of Michigan. Once again, they leave Matt Cross and Sammy Guevara beaten in the ring and ruin another great match. Hopefully, Billy Corgan punishes these two for their actions. Obviously, we hope Matt and Sammy are alright, and we will provide you with updates when we have them." Stryker once again does a masterful job. Angle got the crowd hotter somehow at only a 35E+. I was hoping that would go better. I think Matson and Boone were based off of their menace, which probably isn't very high, so that's why I can justify the low rating. Next segment. Tyler Bate makes his way down to the ring. He's got a microphone. He's giving the wave to the crowd, all that stuff, and he says, "It is that time again, folks. Seeing as I am the television champion, and this is NWA Main Event Showcase on ESPN, it would appear that I am issuing an open challenge to anyone in the back. I know I have many eager challengers, so come on down and take this chance. 23E- for Tyler Bate. The challenger will be Hurricane Helms." And about that didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling. Tyler Bate defeated Hurricane Helms in 12:36 by pinfall with a Tyler Driver 97. Tyler Bate makes defense number 2 of his TNA World Television title. 33E+. Hurricane Helms was visibly tiring towards the end of a 12.5-minute match. That is somewhat concerning. I don't know if Hurricane Helms will last very long in this company then. Helms got a 30, Bate got a 31. Not super happy with that. Hope for a little bit better, but I'll take it. Next segment. Flip Gordon makes his way into the NWA arena to confront Tyler Bate. He gets down to the ring, he grabs the microphone, and he gets in Tyler Bate's face, and he says, "Look who decided to actually show up this week. Is this some kind of game to you, Tyler? Because it isn't to me. I bust my ass week in and week out trying to entertain these fans, but you couldn't even be bothered to come. And on top of that, I challenge you to a match. All these fans get behind it, and you decide to just wrestle Hurricane Helms? Do you even care about these fans? Why are you even here, Tyler? What are you doing in NWA?" Bate also has a microphone, and he lifts it, and he says, "Flip, flip, flip. Calm down, my friend. Unlike you, I'm busy entertaining fans all around the world. But rest assured, I do care about these fans. And if you ever question that again, I will knock you silly. I've been working since I was a young lad to get here, to entertain these fans, to be a champion. I'm more dedicated than every other wrestler in the back, than every other wrestler on this planet, and most certainly than every other wrestler in this ring. You want a match, Flip? You're on. In 2 weeks' time, you'll learn to respect me and respect these fans." Tyler Bate then takes his microphone and he shoves it into the chest of Flip Gordon as he exits the ring. Flip looks visibly agitated. 31E+. So some rising tensions there between Tyler Bate and Flip Gordon. In 2 weeks' time on NWA Chicago, we will have a match between the two for the NWA World Television title. So I could have done it next week. I didn't want to do it next week because I wanted to build a little more. But also, we have 3 championship matches next week because I do believe in the philosophy of having a championship defended every single month. And I just so happen to, unfortunately, have waited too long and have to defend 3 of my titles on one show. So, jam-packed week next week. Now, we get into the main event, the women's #1 contender match, Jazz versus Tenille Dashwood. In a terrible match, Jazz defeated Tenille Dashwood in 17:48 by pinfall after a distraction from Kaylee Ray. 30 E+ for the match. Jazz was visibly tiring towards the end. I kind of expected Jazz to be the weak link in this match, and she was. Tenille got a 38, Jazz got a 20. It's all about her, has advanced, but lost heat with this segment. I was expecting it to be a little bit better, but also I knew that I should have made the match shorter because Jazz would benefit from being in a shorter match because she is 40 years old. So Kaylee Ray costs Tenille Dashwood the #1 contendership. Interesting there. So it will be Jazz versus Kaylee Ray next week for the Women's Championship. Kaylee Ray raises Jazz's hand after the match. Tenille Dashwood retreats up the ramp and screams angrily at the referee after having lost the #1 contendership. The show ends with Ray and Jazz in the ring, still holding her hand in the air. Storyline advanced and gained heat with this segment. 43D, happy with that. So Jazz versus Kaylee Ray, Tenille Dashwood gets perhaps screwed out of the opportunity. We'll have to see the fallout. And that is all for this episode of NWA Chicago. I expect that this episode will get a solid D. There was some solid segments on this show, so I expect a solid D from this one. Oh, shit! E+? Yikes! I was expecting much better than that. We had the striker announcement of the matches, Guevara and Cross beating the Sons of Michigan, and the new #1 contender. I thought that all would have worked in my favor, but as I look at it, I also did have some really shitty segments. All the alpha female stuff bombed. Tyler Bates' solo promo really bombed, so in the end, it does kind of make sense that I got a 33 E+. Not happy with that. Benjamin Moon was used too much, so was Nate Matson. Show increased our popularity in 16 regions, but lost us popularity in 1 region, which presumably is the Great Lakes region, which is not good. So now we will see what this got on TV, so I'll see you guys at that screen. Alright, so as always, NWA Main Event Showcase was held in Chicago, in the NWA Arena, in the Great Lakes region. This time Friday, week 3 of July, in front of 1,773 fans in attendance, .02 on television, 19,550 viewers. That is up from last week, but still does not touch our top, which was around 20,000, somewhere around there. But we're trending in the right direction. However, the show quality is not trending in the right direction. We're going down. This is the 4th down show in a row. So we started at a D, then got a D-, then got a more of a D-, and then an E+. So we need to really pick this back up, because these show ratings are somewhat unacceptable to me, especially when we're losing popularity in our home regions. So guys, I want to thank you for watching. An injury update on El Hijo del Rey Mysterio. He will be out for 36 days from the end of this episode, I believe. He was supposed to originally be out about 3 months, but we did have him get surgery, and he will only be out for another month or so. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode of NWA Main Event Showcase for our 3 championship matches.